I know I broke it.
Would you like me to present the next group?
Yes, could you?
All right. So coming right up, we have Skills, Trades, and Careers with Krista Barnes and her team. Krista, you have to come and sit next to me. That's where the camera is. I'll gladly share it.
Oh, yeah.
There, yeah, oh, nice. So you're just
Okay, I can navigate. Hello, everybody. I'm Krista Barnes. I'm the principal of some things that include skills, trades, and careers. And I have with me Doug Borden and Aaron Thomas, who are two of the teachers in our program. And I'm going to leave it all up to them in terms of the presentation. I just transitioned into this department in the last couple of months. And so as I'm learning more about it, this is a great time for me to also hear about some of the amazing work they've done this year under Monica Berra and her team. So I will hand it over to them.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having us back. It's exciting to be here. So those are the programs that I've been recruiting for. A few changes. We no longer have metal fabrication, as CNC got rid of the foundations program and went straight to apprenticeship. The neat thing about metal fab is all of our past students we put in, we just had a cohort of people in their second year and third year, and there was 4 of our students in each next level, which is always quite exciting. Big one is the explosion in Youth Explore Trade Sampler with 4 cohorts of 16. That's a 1 exclusive women in trades cohort, 2 regular, and 1 Indigenous cohort. We have mixed, what you call blended models for auto collision, where we have 2 to 3 students. Our 2 students this year are currently working they finished and have been working for 3 months already at Concept 1. Heavy duty or automotive service technician, 4 students. And last year I only took 3 for some reason. There must have only been 3 qualified applications, but all 3 students working in PG. Heavy duty cohort has changed from the past where it used to be, it was our last one that was a grade 11, grade 12 entry, sort of a split, and now it's full grade 12 starting in September. We got a smaller cohort of 12 because of COVID numbers, and 11 working currently. So there's lots of work for our kids if they're doing the things we're telling them they're working. Pipe trades, 4 seats. Only took 3 again last year, and all 3 working. Industrial mechanics or millwrighting. Transitional time for CNC, so it's tricky one. Still a good program, but we've had a lot of change in staffing on that one, but we have 3 seats. Those ones are harder for me to track because they leave town more so. They're out in mills around. Pro cook, only 1 student this year, which is good. She's rocking it. Really, actually a hard program to excel in. Super physical, super like timely tasks, I guess you could say. And carpentry, we have 8 in there. Don't know, they're just pretty new. Electricals, a full cohort. Currently on 16 kids out on work experience at buildings, businesses in PG right now. Our welding cohort is just about halfway done, 16 kids. And we had 1 student in computer networking technician for our first time, and that's a certificate program. I asked him to text me last night. I did give him a solid lead for CAN4 for a 1-year term, but he's not interested in texting me apparently. So, he will, but that's the quick lowdown on that. If I could have the next slide, please. Did you do it? You should do it. Yeah. All right. This is our current Indigenous sampler students. A really good group. This is our 3rd year, our 3rd cohort. Diverse kids, huge diversity, which is really good. There's some gaps, and gaps because of COVID as well. I've been noticing some tricky things that our students are not maybe realizing when they have to level up to post-secondary. But in the sampler program in Women in Trades, I have five young women that have transitioned into trades from September. In regular September, we have 9 students transitioning to trades, either directly in CTC or as an adult. So either way, if I have grade 12 students, they're heading into the adult programs for post-secondary, or if they're grade 10 or 11, they're making their pathway to us in grade 12. Regular sampler right now, as it stands, we have 8 students. And then our Indigenous cohort, which is this group, it has 5 students that have got me applications and are eligible to apply for sampler or for their programs of choice, which is some welding, 1 plumbing, maybe 2 carpentry. Then a couple adults, three adults that have helped with their applications, putting them into admissions, and they're just waiting to get their transcripts figured out. And Aaron Thomas was helping one of the young men today, which was good to run into, but frustrating because their computers weren't working. And then 3 that are kind of undecided. So gaps I've seen, and we've lost, I always take it to heart when we have a student or that withdraws from the program for feeling unsuccessful. But our students don't really know that learning takes time. Like, they're not believing that. They want it now all the way. So that's something we have to press on, and they struggle with, I would say, 2 words, precision and perseverance. We lost a young man in welding, good kid. He did a welding day with me. So he went in, he did a tour, he tried it out for 4 hours. But then when he withdrew, I spent a lot of time with him, asking him what were your signs? You know, where did you feel unsuccessful? And he had to make a shape that looked like this. I've made it way bigger. And this is a welding fillet gauge, so you can measure your radiuses of your welds. And he said it was the first time in his life where he had to make something that was 100% perfect. And he really struggled with that. And it was the worst in the class at being perfect. And that's where he felt like he lost all of his ground, because he never had to this has to be perfect. And he could do it over again. It wasn't a one and done, but I thought that was a good thing to bring out. And then we had some students from McBride with COVID, they didn't have a lot of testing. So when they were pressed up against a real hard test that had to get done, and it might have been a one and done, they really had a lot of anxiety and stress when it didn't go as well, because they didn't have the practice that they would have liked to have after the test. I think they were okay going in, but post-test they weren't so okay. But these students have some of those gaps as well. Some with that diverse group, they're extended. Some are right on track. Bella is the one girl on the upper right is heading to adult auto service technician. So they depends where they are, but I think we do need to push our teachers to figure out how to close those gaps for all kids, and especially these students. And it's not necessarily the math or the academics, but it's that sticking with it and having to do a few precise things and having perseverance. So that's some things I've learned with samplers and Indigenous samplers. And there's some pretty cool things. Some of my favorite things are right here. Two great things. We had our first job fair at PGSS May 2nd. We had 80 students attend. For me, it came out of, I'm still pretty into Prince George's poverty reduction. And then when the school district, I heard they were on it, I started getting lightly involved. But then I thought, what do kids need? Poor kids need jobs. We all need our first jobs. And I've spent 11 years tracking kids, and every kid in our school district who gets an apprenticeship that doesn't have a parent get them one has had a job at McDonald's, or has had that job at Save-On, has had that first job at Tim Hortons. So for me, I put a lot of effort with our career coordinator, Stephen and Amber Hannigan, to get a first job fair. We had 8 employers show up. Unfortunately, Good News doesn't travel. So I don't know how many kids got jobs, but I meet one girl who got a job at Booster Juice, and they were, we put some at-risk kids in front of them. The Hyatt probably is going to hire a few people. LA Promotions was super excited. So they were, and McDonald's was so thrilled to be invited into our school district. And that's kind of the next group is our third annual opportunities fair, where it's trades-oriented jobs. And then I was thinking, how can I get our first group to go to that group? And they have to get that job. So for me, that was that transition, kind of working backwards. But we had new employers come to the opportunities fair. Ford Store came, Dadoff came. There was also Hool Electric, which was great for our electricians. I made the whole class come and take interviews with them to get those first initial interviews out of the way. Ironworkers Local 96 was there, which that is like all of that steel work that would have been done on Shasta Kelly Road. And he has an interesting proposition and is coming back in end of May, maybe mid-June, to talk about having a ironworkers, what do you call it? Training session for our Indigenous youth potentially. But he's hitting our local employers to see if they had jobs first. Like that was his big thing as he's one of the union trainers, and he wants jobs committed before we do the training, so we don't have that false hope of here's the training now, you know, move to New Brunswick and see how it works out for you, which is sometimes the case, right? Like we don't have that local jobs, but he's trying to get commitments out of Harris Rebar and Canna Steel for us, because he really liked what he saw what we're doing here. So that's kind of the year for me. A lot of things. Pretty excited. Always pretty uneasy about it because recruiting's hard and you never know who's showing up till you get the applications, but it's been working out for 11 years. So I'm pretty happy with it. And that's it. Aaron. Did we do?
I'm just wondering.
Oh, yes, sorry. Oh,
Yes.
I should have put my number up there. I always put my number on the slides. I'm sorry. You could have texted all questions to me. That's my number one recruiting strategy is access through my phone.
Doug, I have always marveled at the work, that the amount of commitment that this work takes, because you have to really want to make a difference for these students. And I've got tons of questions. I don't know anything about the Indigenous Trades Chapter, and I want to know more. But I'm not going to. I'll call you.
Yeah, you can. Or come. You could come. Actually, all of you could come and see them. Their class is 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Any day, 8 to 11. You can come check them out.
And where?
CNC John Brinks. They're currently in carpentry, and then in 1 week they're heading to auto service technician for 4 weeks.
So you wouldn't mind if
I would love. No, I would love that more than anything. It's my actually favorite thing of my job is being a tour guide. That is like the best thing ever.
Okay.
Oh, in amongst of a lot of best things.
Well, you've got a cat.
Yeah, it's free to anyone. Ask your boss for time off. They're probably in the room.
I will ask my boss. I will ask my boss for time off. He will give it to me.
Yeah. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you. And once again, kudos to that work with the job fair. And what I'm hearing is your outreach to all of the people in our communities that employ our employers, the companies. This is a very important thing that more people need to understand, that this outreach is happening. And I mean, there's just the very fact that the iron workers want to do training sessions and those, I didn't get all the notes, but I'll pick your brains when I'm there.
I would love that.
I just think we need to invite our communications person to do a special look at how we are engaging our communities and thanking them for their cooperation and the work they're doing to support our students, and your work needs to be applauded. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. not sure how to do that. I would like to thank you on behalf of my granddaughter, Caitlin
Yeah,
Strom, who is one of the students who has a full-time job. And she would like to say thank you. She said, excellent. She was so happy that
yeah,
she got the training that she wanted to do.
yeah. And she has a really good employer.
Yes, she does.
And, like, they're odd, but they do full restorations.
Yeah.
They are, like, they're fun. And I'm connected with them all the way back through Heavy Metal Rocks, through that program. And that's when they started looking for people, that's how they knew me, from this whole building of community that we do and through careers.
Yeah, and
through,
she's got to learn so much more
Yeah.
being at the job that she's at. She's already doing fabricating. She's,
Yeah.
yeah.
looking
advanced
forward to level
quickly.
2 already.
Yep.
The group of the 3 of them.
Yeah. So thank you very much for.
You're welcome.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's not working. Oh, there we are.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Manhas.
Is it?
Just a quick question. The trade sampler programs now, remember we had a kid that was struggling in certain courses in grade 10, 11,
Right.
but success in the sampler programs, is that leading to entry into foundation or not yet?
Okay, no,
Not sure. Okay.
but never. Because here's what's happening. Kids with high marks are applying. So kids that are marginal, like I was in high school, honestly, like kind of like that 55% clueless person,
They're not.
isn't making the cut to get the opportunity.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm
You
sad.
were working on that.
But yeah, but it's hard. I got like 50 applications from College Heights, everyone with a C+ or higher. So like, how do you pick 3 kids out of that bunch? And everyone, it's good for everyone. So it's, that's, yeah, but we need more people. Well, it doesn't have to be, but once they come to the next level, if you don't score at 70% or higher, you don't move to the next level. I'll try to get your granddaughter's grade to you. She might have got the highest mark in BC. I'm reasonably confident that she's, everyone at Kelly Road was so mad because she was too smart to go into auto body. Like, she might have got like in the 90s in pre-calc, so she's an anomaly on so many levels.
Trustee Warrington.
Oh, you've opened up a whole lot of questions now, Doug.
I'm sorry to the people behind me.
That's quite all right. We're going to give them time too, and we'll ask them lots of questions as well. But I do want to follow up on what Pam just said, because is this solely based on grades? And from what I'm hearing you say, I don't understand the process. So they have to manage certain skill levels before they can go from one step to another. And that's what I'm kind of thinking I'm hearing. Am I correct?
That's right. Every trade in British Columbia has a 70% pass threshold. So that's, and what's tricky, again, when you cringed, Pam, and that's how I was back when I was not good at testing, or I'm still only marginal, is that 80% of their mark is testing and 20% is practical. But what the employer really cares about is, can you do the job? But you can't move to the next level unless you can pass the test. So once you're in the field for long enough, if you get through foundations and get that first good job and have a good employer that gives you a lot of time to learn and a lot of attention, your next level is easier because you go in with a ton of knowledge, like a lot of knowledge. So the first chunk is tricky. If we get through that, the second chunk, keeping your first job, is tricky. We get through that. Second year isn't so hard because you've bought in, and you know the materials, you know all the bricks, you know all the tiles, or you know all the different cuts, right? You've seen it, you've done it, you pack the materials, you know all of the gear. So that part gets easier, Cheryl. But
So just what I'm hearing, the trade sampler then is a sampler. It gives them a test, an experience.
yep, it gives them, those students that I showed you they did pro chef, pipe trades, which is plumbing, pipe fitting, sprinkler fitting, and they've done carpentry, and then on to a mechanics course.
And then from there, they would graduate
Transition.
to the foundations.
Yeah.
Thank you.